being 5:30 on April 23rd, 2025. We're starting the Town of Bourne Board of Health public meeting. The meeting is being televised via Zoom and in person. The details are on the agenda. If anybody is recording at this time, they should notify us. Is anybody recording? No? Okay. So we'll call the meeting to open session. First thing on the agenda is attendance. Dusty?
Here.
Margaret? Here. Miguel?
Here.
And Barbara Princiot is here. And Bob Collette is excused. Okay. Coming up next is 9 Arrowhead Lane. It's Bracken Engineering on behalf of the owner applicant, John Cronin Jr. and Julie E. Cronin, trustees of the 9 Arrowhead Lane Realty Trust, requesting relief from 310 CMR 15.0 for a proposed upgrade to the sewage disposal system. The variances requested include a 3-foot and 4-foot reduction in the distance between the proposed soil absorption trenches and the property line at 30 Tideway Road, and a 4-foot reduction from the proposed soil absorption trenches to the crawl space slab. Rob, I see Rob's here from Bracken. Katie, do you have any comments on that? Or anybody from the department?
Yeah, so the proposed upgrade is going along with a proposed raise rebuild of the dwelling. They are proposing a conventional system because they are not asking for any variances to any resource areas, and they're not in any defined nitrogen-sensitive areas. The variances they are requesting are from property lines and a crawl space, which trigger a board hearing for a butter notification.
Okay.
They are within the AE flood zone, but they are providing at least 5 feet of separation to groundwater. And Rob did provide revised floor plans to modify the office on the first floor to be a 6-foot cased opening. So the septic design flow is adequate for what they are proposing.
Okay. Dusty, do you have any comments?
No.
Okay, Margaret or Miguel?
No.
Okay. Rob, do you want to just talk about the proposal, or?
Yeah, absolutely. Can you guys hear me okay?
Perfectly.
Excellent. I'll just share my screen real quick here and just bring it up. Katie covered most of the topics here, but it'd be good just to run through it a little bit. So, 9 Arrowhead Drive here, just for the record, this Rob DeWar from Bracken Engineering here on behalf of John and Julie Cronin. They are at 9 Arrowhead Drive, or Arrowhead Lane, excuse me. We're over here, this is the Pecasset River, and we've got Tohoto Beach coming out to like Buzzards Bay right over here. So we're in this neighborhood off of Wayne's Neck Road. As Katie said, we are in a AE flood zone here, but we're not close to, besides the rivers here, or adjacent to any other like wetland resource areas, just the flood zone. And we're not contained within the DEP nitrogen sensitive areas based on the resource area. So we're outside of that zone as well. So just to bring up the plan here. So we do have, as Katie stated, a raise and rebuild situation. This is the existing house with a wraparound porch here, and there's an existing garage in the back. It's a tiny lot. You know, we're just shy of 4,500 square feet for the whole lot, and it's currently served by an existing septic tank and a leach pit, 1,000-gallon tank, and just a regular leach pit. So. You know, as a part of the project, we are proposing to raise and rebuild the structure. It's still going to remain a 3-bedroom structure. As Katie again said, that we had to update the floor plans just mildly to eliminate or expand the cased opening on an office to make sure that they did not qualify for a bedroom there. So we are maintaining a 3-bedroom count. We're proposing a conventional 1,500-gallon septic tank to 2 separate leaching trenches here. And the purpose of that is just the confines of the parcel, and then using the leaching trenches, they're actually going to be that plastic chamber style trenches allows us to maximize our groundwater separation and make sure we have that 5-foot separation to groundwater. That's a big improvement over the leaching pit that was there previously. That was a typical 4 or 5 foot deep pit, so groundwater here is pretty high. They probably were down right into groundwater with that pit, so we're providing a big improvement on that front. While we're not proposing, like a nitrogen reducing septic tank, we are overall, there is a slight reduction in nitrogen from a little over 20 parts per million, excuse me, trying to find the spreadsheet here. A little over 20 parts per million to just under that, like 19.
7.6, Rob?
Yep.
Rob, it's
So, we are
19.76.
proposing a little bit of a reduction. And I think that's about it. It's just unfortunately, due to the size of the lot, we're only about 7 feet off of this property line for this trench, 6 feet off of it, the same property line for this trench, and then this trench is only 6 feet off of the building. The slab foundation under that, so it should be pretty straightforward.
Okay, anybody after hearing that have any comments? No. Rob, I just have a question for you, and it's probably the lot is way too small anyway, because you can't really do any, like other IA system or anything, or any kind of thing to mitigate the nitrogen. I know it's not in a sensitive area. I'm just curious. I mean, at some point it will be, if the cape keeps deteriorating. I'm just curious.
Yeah, so, I mean, one of the big things that we don't even really take into account here is, we assumed that the whole yard is going to be lawn.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
the owners have expressed that that's really not gonna be the case. They're gonna be doing quite a bit of landscaping there. So we're gonna see a pretty big decrease in nitrogen loading just from that alone. So
Okay.
outside of that, it's almost just too small.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, and that'd be great if you can encourage that, or if the homeowners are willing to do that, because it just helps the environment, as you know. And then the other question I have is, what we've been doing too, Rob, is we started kind of tracking these 6-foot cased openings. So what we've been doing is, and obviously we love that you already did that for us, but, having somebody go back and check to make sure that the 6-foot cased opening is there. So, I'm sure the homeowners wouldn't mind anyway if, even if I don't know when we're tracking, but, we're trying not to just like trying to stay on top of it. So even when you get the approval, maybe we'll probably start to want to come back and also check on them at some time period after. I just want to make sure that you think the homeowners would be okay with that. It's not like.
I mean, is that, post occupancy permit, that would be like a walkthrough?
Yeah, it's not like, and who knows, like I said, it's a small, tiny place, but we're just trying to be more diligent and, but we are tracking everybody that has the 6-foot cased openings, so that way if we need follow-up, we can.
Is that something that you guys are doing, or is that work just not,
Yeah, that's something we're doing.
Is that coordinating through like the assessor's office?
No, that's completely separate. What they do is completely separate. Yeah, this is just so that we have our file complete, that's all, just kind of closing the loop, but obviously we'd let you know ahead of time, it's not a surprise or anything.
Yeah, and I'll make sure that they're aware.
Yeah.
That's a possibility that you may reach out to them in the future.
Yeah.
They always had a cased opening there. It was just more closer to, I can't remember if it was 4 or 5 feet, so I don't think they have any intention of closing that in.
Yeah.
But I'll make sure that they know that you guys may be checking up in the future.
Yeah, okay, perfect. So, I don't know, does somebody want to make a motion? Darcy, how about you? You want to make a motion?
Not bad in yourself. I'd like to make a motion on 9 Arrowhead Lane, Bracken Engineering, on behalf of owner applicant John J. Cronin Jr. and Julie E. Cronin, trustees of the 9 Arrowhead Lane Realty. requesting relief from 310 CMR 15.00 for a proposed upgrade to the sewage disposal system. Variances requested include A, 3-foot and 4-foot reduction in the distance between the proposed soil absorption trenches and the property line at 39 Tidewater Road, and a 4-foot reduction from the proposed soil absorption trenches to the crawl space slab.
And Dusty, can you just add in any changes to the 6-foot cased opening?
cannot hear you, dear.
Can you just add in that any changes to the 6-foot cased opening would require them to put in a
5 foot, yeah, I noticed a
4-bedroom
5 foot.
septic, or come back before the Board of Health, and come back before the Board of Health, and that we'll be doing a follow-up at some point in the future
To check that,
to check it and notify them. I mean, it could be,
which would be the building inspector. He'll
But it's just-
notify us.
yeah, that's fine. You can just
Yeah.
say, but, we'll be arranging an inspection. But one of us has to go.
Okay, dear.
Katie, you got that, right? Katie, you know what we're doing, because we've been doing.
Yep, mm-hmm.
Yeah, you can just say that. You can just say, yeah, what she said.
Right. Never argue with a female. Yeah, because we normally say call for 6 foot.
Right. Yeah, that is 6 foot, they did. They did a 6-foot opening. Rob, that's 6 feet, right?
Yes, the original
Yeah.
submission had
Correct,
5-foot
yeah.
cased opening, and a revised plan came
We
in.
had to modify that compared to the original submission.
Yeah, I think that's perfect. So, do you have a second?
Second.
it.
See?
Yeah, he changed it to 6 feet.
Oh, he's changed.
Yeah, he's changed it. Okay, so, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay.
You have to do a roll call since Miguel's on Zoom.
Oh, roll call, I forgot Miguel.
Thank you.
Miguel, I'm so sorry. Okay, roll call vote. Margaret?
Aye.
Dusty?
Aye.
Miguel? Aye. And Barbara votes aye. Okay, sorry about that, Miguel.
Thank you very much.
Thanks, Rob. All right, the second one is 51 Pasture Road, Bracken Engineering, on behalf of owner applicant Carol Hickey, trustee of the Scraggy Neck Realty Trust, requesting relief from the Bourne Board of Health regulations to waive the current bedroom definition in order to finish the fit-out of a previously approved basement area currently under construction within an existing house. Okay, Katie, do you have anything on this before we have Rob come on?
Yeah, so, in 2018 and then again in 2020, the health department approved septic permit for the upgrade of this system for the construction of a 6-bedroom home, that it did include, a partially finished basement that they weren't counting as a bedroom at the time. Then in 2021, an occupancy permit was requested for the home before the basement was complete. And so the occupancy permit was issued at that time without the basement. We had since changed our Board of Health regulation for bedroom definition in 2022. So that's why this is here before you guys today, to discuss if you wanted to grandfather in that decision or not. The property is also within the Megansett-Squeteague watershed, which requires, the best available nitrogen reducing technology by 2030 or immediately with new construction. So something to think about is that, whether you guys ask for an upgrade today or not, the system will likely be upgraded in the next 5 years.
Okay, and have they looked into having this be an ADU?
No, it appears to just be a finished partial basement.
Okay.
I
But
believe
it
they're,
would qualify as an extra bedroom, though.
if, per the definition as it stands right now, yes.
Okay. Rob, you're presenting on this one as well, correct? Rob?
Yes.
Okay, so do you want to just talk over the plans, and then we'll talk about,
Yeah,
the board will talk?
absolutely. So again, Rob DeWart here with Bracken Engineering on behalf of Carol Hickey, here at 51 Pasture Road. So Katie kind of summed it up pretty well. In fact, This had been a previously approved project prior to the new definition of the bedrooms in town. Share my screen just a little bit so we have some context. Here we go. So, and it was installed as a 6-bedroom system. I mean, there's 6 clear bedrooms in the house that were on the proposed plans, plus the basement room, which was labeled as to be finished in the future. So this was the basement room. There was an unfinished portion over here, and this finished room, and which included a bathroom here. And so the previous health agent and department, I don't believe that this even went in front of the board back then. It was just approved through typical disposal works application. And that was not deemed to be a bedroom at the time. It was carried through as a 6-bedroom house based on the bedroom count of the first and second floors. And as Katie summed up, the septic was installed, the house was constructed, occupancy permit granted, and they hadn't finished the basement quite yet, so they were in the middle of it. But regardless, there was a change of contractor who applied for a new building permit this year for basement work, and then that triggered review of the floor plans from Katie, classifying this as a bedroom, and led to where we are today. So, this is a house that was lived in essentially by one woman all year, with the exception of a couple of times in the summer when the family comes down for the holiday weekends, and suddenly, all 6 bedrooms are used. So this is essentially a seasonal home, with the exception that, that there is a full-time resident there, but the usage of this is very low for the size of a 6-bedroom system here. So basically, we're really just requesting that this be grandfathered in under the old bedroom laws. It's just kind of a victim of the length of time that the project has gone on and the change of contractors, whereas nothing has changed on the proposed project itself. And then Katie, astutely noted that this does fall within the Narragansett Harbor watershed area, so this is in the nitrogen sensitive area. So regardless of what we determine tonight, I mean, this whole septic is going to be revisited in the next 5 years or so, so we make sure that it falls in line with the new nitrogen loading regulations. So yeah, basically we do request that we can just maintain a 6-bedroom designation for the house, and address any additional bedroom when the system has to be reworked for the nitrogen restrictions in the future. Guess I'll stop sharing that unless you guys want to keep looking at it.
Okay, so this has not come before anybody on the Board of Health, though?
No.
Member of the Board of Health?
There were no
Okay.
variance requests for the project,
Okay.
yeah.
Dusty, do you have comments?
Just one question. What is presently the nitrogen loading numbers right now?
The present nitrogen loading numbers?
Yeah,
Let me see if we have one from when, because we wouldn't have prepared it before for any Board of Health.
I don't
Let me
agree
just
with
look to
this.
see if we had it from our old conservation filing.
happy.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to tell how many,
When was the original permit pulled or
looks like
acceptance
Yeah.
from the Board of Health? When
It
was-
was, the health department issued the permit in 2018, and then it was transferred to a new permit in 2020 with a new installer, same plans. So it was issued on September 2nd, 2020.
and then now it's 2025.
Yes.
5 years? No, not quite 5 years.
But this doesn't look 5 years old.
So
When
yeah,
were these
so
pictures taken?
those were from the original build. that was confirmed by the building inspector that that was what was there during their occupancy tour as well.
And has anybody been in there since?
They have pulled this permit, so, yes, actually, the building inspector, Dan Gart, was there and told them to make sure that they were following up with the health department.
Yeah, it's hard to read this since the bed, like,
See.
to even look at the bedrooms here. 1, 2,
Which one?
So I did pull up.
TV area.
Sorry to interrupt, but I did pull up the nitrogen loading calculations from the original notice of intent for the property.
Mm-hmm.
And based on that, and I can share this real quick. Now, this is the old form prior to the adoption of the new nitrogen. That had brought us under, to 4.9 parts per million. So we were under the 5 parts per million even with the 6 bedrooms. And that was mainly just due to the size of the lot and the landscaping and limited the grass that was on it. So we are for that under the 5 parts per million.
See.
no, it's hard to tell from this. And then, I'm trying to look at the picture of the house.
Not only,
Like, where's the garage? What's above the garage, Rob? Sorry, this is so small for me, so I apologize if I'm asking you questions, but, like, what's above the
Sorry.
garage?
Above the garage, let's reshare here.
right here.
Above the garage, I believe, is the, that's the first floor. There's two of the bedrooms are above the garage on the second floor.
Above the garage. Okay.
A1, so here's the garage.
Walmart, 6.
1, 2, all right, here's 1, 2.
So there were 5 bedrooms up here, there's 1, 2, 3, and then 4 over here, and then there's a master bedroom on the first floor.
Oh, that little one.
Yeah, so I don't know, what do you,
Now, the thing in the basement, they didn't make that into a bedroom, did they?
well, they're trying to, basically, that's a lot of, so Rob, you're trying to finish off the whole area?
Just that
In
same
the
portion.
basement, it's not the whole area, it's just this one, what is it?
This just looks familiar to
No,
me.
It's just this one room
property.
here. The rest of it would be unfinished, like storage area. In the frontier, this is the garage, so there's no basement area there. This is just, like crawl space, unexcavated area here. And same thing in the back, there's crawl space areas in the back here. So there's a hatch for access to it, but that's it. So it's just this one room here with access to the unfinished area.
And
But it's
then,
not, the intent isn't for it to be a bedroom, it's just finished space, which was always the intent from the beginning.
so why finish off that, like, what are you doing with the unfinished area? Is that, like, you can walk in there?
No.
Like this big space with
Yeah,
a,
just typical basement storage, and that's where the utilities are as well.
No, this
is-
space
yeah,
here.
Right.
you know, this little door that goes in there?
Yeah. Now, is that a concrete wall?
I don't know.
It being unfinished, it would be classified as unconditioned as well.
Right, but, this, I'm just trying to look at the pictures that are here. Like comparing to, like to see where that unfinished space is in these pictures. It's hard to tell. Yeah, it's just hard to tell, I guess, from this application. I don't know, like, why wouldn't they want to just do it now, Rob, if they can just, why wouldn't they want to just take care of it now if they're still going to have to do it anyway within 5 years? And then, because I'm not sure, I don't think we waiver from the definition of a bedroom. You know, I'm just
Well, she
curious as to
doesn't
why
want
they,
to do it right now, like the full system right now, I mean, it was approved as a 6-bedroom, so she had never had any intentions of putting in a 7-bedroom system when this was originally designed. And when this was designed and approved, no one knew that DEP was coming down with the nitrogen.
But the line
Well-
has changed since 2020.
So this really is just, she is in the unfortunate position of having an ongoing project, and that she was granted the occupancy permit for the rest of the house while they were finishing up, this area down here with a new contractor. And so that's why you know, it ended up getting triggered as a bedroom now when it wouldn't have, you know, before, so.
Yeah.
So that's basically it, and she doesn't, and having just, you know, the system's a couple of years old at this point, but she doesn't want to tear it up yet, until, basically until she has to.
Which may be now, but the other question, the thing that I just want to point out, though, is that the Board of Health, this never came before the Board of Health. It says the permit was transferred. And then it also says on here, notify Board of Health at excavation. I don't recall being
That's-
notified of that either.
That's for the health department. It's just an
It
abbreviation.
says Board of Health,
Yep,
so.
but it's what we write on a plan so that they call us when they, for an open hole inspection.
Yeah, so I guess I don't,
That's
I'm-
common.
yeah, no, I'm fine about that if that's the comment, but like
Oh, I
the
have a
neighbors were never
question.
notified, like, I feel like,
Can I ask a
That-
question?
No,
Yeah,
because
just-
there's no setbacks to the property lines, and
But
there's
still,
not even close to any setbacks to the property lines. It's a giant lot.
Even if this was,
And the neighbors would have been, notified of the project.
For
during
conservation.
In the beginning,
That was
okay.
an application.
yeah, I'm just talking out loud here, because it's been a long time,
Yeah.
you know, so I'm just trying to
even
catch
if
up.
this is considered a 6-bedroom and not a 7-bedroom, within the next 5 years, because of the location, is it a good chance that they will have to change to a IA system?
Based off of the regulations as they stand now, they will have
They
to.
will have
So-
to.
It doesn't matter. I mean, the fact is, it's going to be more expensive the longer she waits.
There might be better technology in 5 years as well.
But then if everybody comes before us and says that, you know, we're gonna have to, you know.
I mean,
guess
they're all
that's-
coming for us at the same time
right,
anyways.
Exactly, so,
So
I don't know if
is
it's
she
worth-
aware, is the owner aware
I don't know
that
if
she's
it's
going to
worth
have to
going out.
probably
I don't know. I
move to an IA system anyway?
I know what you're saying.
That was made as a comment to her contractor in the building application and also through Bracken Engineering as
Yeah.
well.
And he did say that she wants to wait, but
Katie, what's the limit, time frame by, that they had the original permit 2019, if I'm
I just
correct?
wanted to expire again. You're right, this is expired.
Then
The original permit was issued, well, I can pull up the permit log, hold on.
Yes, it transferred 2020, that permit wouldn't even be that,
Well, a new,
Well, the septic system is installed,
Yeah.
so it's valid.
okay,
It's not expired.
so that shouldn't
the
even be
nitrogen is very low.
Yeah.
It's granted for that.
anymore.
I will grant that.
So the system, the first permit was submitted in August of 2018. And then it got transferred to a new, let's see,
looks like 9/2.
51 pasture.
Katie, this says 9/2/2020. That's probably 2 years later.
Yeah, so, they submitted a new application with the existing plans on July 8th. And then again in August, they changed contractors, who were gonna do the install. And that final inspection was completed on November 5th, 2020.
So this is only a modification to the existing plans that have already been approved and inspected, correct?
They aren't proposing any modifications to anything.
Basement,
So they got an occupancy permit for what was done, no occupancy permit for the
Right.
basement, because they basically, they're trying to finish it off, and it falls under a bedroom definition. So that means we would have to make an exception for a bedroom we'd have to waiver from our bedroom regulation, because clearly this is a bedroom according to our
well,
regulation.
if it's a wooden wall, it's nothing to cut, make a 6-foot open.
The board could also not waiver from the bedroom definition in this case as well. They could just honor the original permit issuance, the original approval by the health department. And I mean, if you guys were concerned about it being 7 bedrooms, is that could be addressed, you know, when the system is upgraded to best available nitrogen removing technology, that it is upgraded to a 7-bedroom septic system.
Then I guess, what's gonna happen when everybody else in town comes before and says they wanna do that too? You know, so I guess I'm just concerned about, I'm
I think one
struggling with this one.
consideration, though, is the nitrogen level.
Yeah.
That is something we can take into consideration when it's so low.
Mhm.
We could say, well,
So
in
should-
this case, consider that it is so low.
How
that
long
we-
ago was that done?
The system installed,
Yeah, but
Nitrogen loading?
we could check again.
it would have been 2018, and that
Yeah,
was,
that's a long time ago.
that was before they developed the lot even further, so that would have changed it.
Is there anything you can add on to the existing septic to, I know there's things you can add, Rob, that you
So I
can add
think-
on to the conventional this is conventional that's in there.
Yes.
There's something you can add on to a conventional system to actually make it comply as like an updated, like an IA system. It's something to, I don't know exactly what it's called, but I'd like to see some sort of still enhancement, but because of where it is, and it's going to have to be upgraded. So I know there's something you can add on.
So the only issue I would see with that, Barbara, in this instance for this type of situation is we would typically just ask for them to increase flow. With this case, if we're considering it a bedroom, for this specific case, we're not grandfathering it under its original approval, it's considered new construction and therefore would trigger best available nitrogen reducing technology immediately because it's in that watershed. That is how Title V reads. So the options before you tonight would be to grandfather in or waive bedroom definition for this, or upgrade to best available nitrogen reducing technology.
Well, we don't, I've never seen a
No, no, we don't
grandfather
have
or
that.
anything.
I would
I've
like
been
to know
here
the
how
current,
long?
I would like to know the current nitrogen load, to have them check that. That'd be a factor for me.
But
in
that's just
making-
like, that's just, I mean, yeah, it's a spreadsheet, but
Because if it was really high, that would definitely make us want to
it's,
proceed with
yeah.
having them.
I don't
See, what
upgrade
I'm
the
worried
system right
about
now.
tomorrow, she could sell that house, okay? And make it 7 bedrooms and she's free and clear, that's what's bothering.
And it's used, it's a full house during the summer.
Well, yeah,
I mean, I don't know what seasonal is, but what she means by seasonal, it
I'd
could be
like,
6 months.
there is something, sorry to interrupt. So, I mean, one thing I just wanted to say is that we're sort of, regardless of the nitrogen loading on it, we have kind of 2 different issues here. One of them is just the overall flow of the system. I mean, the system was approved and designed, approved, and constructed as a 6-bedroom system, including, that is the field itself. And we have obvious nitrogen loading concerns for the area based off of the DEP designation of the Gansett Harbor. I think that regardless of, without running the new nitrogen off the top of my head, I mean, it is a very large lot. I think that overall we'll find that the nitrogen loading is quite small on it. Not that they're going to escape from having to install some additional technology in the future. But for the purposes, I think, of this meeting, we're more dealing just with the physical flow and the design flow of the site and the field that was constructed as part of that. Basically, it's our opinion as the engineers of record that, and it's not just a single owner, this isn't a family trust, so it's not a house that can just be immediately sold off tomorrow. And it's the intent is to keep this in the family. So the uses of it is far less than the 660 gallons per day in practicality, especially when you average that out over the year. I will say that there's, one other option that we have at our disposal is to mandate a deed restriction be placed on the house,
Those don't
maintaining
really
6 bedrooms, so that no one, even if it is sold, that basement area cannot be used as an actual
Hold on
bedroom.
a second.
So
We,
permanently maintain this.
excuse me, Rob, we just need to just take a 5-minute break, just a few-minute break. One of the board members has to
Sure.
step outside, so we're just gonna pause the meeting for a few
Yeah.
minutes. So I'm gonna ask that nobody speak until Dusty returns.
Go ahead and mute that, yep. That's good, Kate. Yeah. This is on a lag because it's on TV. I'm watching the news. Oh, I know. No. So, wait. Who's that? It's Basil. Yeah. It probably is. Me.
Okay. Mr. Myers has returned, so we're going to resume the meeting.
I'm gonna try to unmute.
Well, you have to make a decision here.
I have a question, though, for Katie. Katie?
Yeah.
In 2018, who approved that? The letter? And do you have the
Terry
2020?
was, I see a
and do you-
notation
And do you have the
20.
2020 letter and the 2018?
I have no letters, I have the permit applications.
So so who approved it in 2018?
Terry Garino, the health
Yeah,
agent.
so I would say I would probably want them to come before the Board of Health.
So there would be no reason for them to come before the Board of Health
Right
originally.
now there is.
Originally, was what I'm
Right,
saying, is
right
so
now
this
there-
would have been a
yeah.
construction permit that would have been administratively approved by a registered sanitarian.
Yeah, no, I understand.
Because there's no
that.
variance requests.
I guess I'd just like to be able to, for us to be able to make a decision, like with the full packet, like things, like we've never seen this, it's been in existence for 2018. I mean, the plans say from 17, it's 8 years later and the basement still isn't finished. So it's like, and now, the regulations have changed and people are subject to the new regulations. We've never grandfathered anybody in, and it's going to have to be upgraded anyway. So it's like, if you have to do it within 5 years, it could be 1 year, it could be 2 years, it could be, I guess I'm just wondering why, because it costs more money later if you have to upgrade it later after you already have, the new bedroom, and then when we come back, it's gonna be 8 bedrooms, or who knows, something else may change, because that's a big unfinished area, the other area,
I mean,
we
any
haven't-
work done on that would trigger more
Right,
review.
so it's like, it'd be easier now just to upgrade it and make it a 8-bedroom, then you don't have to worry about coming back.
So
know.
I guess my question to you is, are you asking for them to come back with like a waiver request as like this would be, so more with nitrogen loading calculations as an existing 6-bedroom and additionally now this potential 7-bedroom? Or are you asking them to come forward with a septic upgrade?
Yeah, well, I don't think they can get a waiver of the bedroom. I mean, that's what Dusty was saying, is we don't, it's clearly a bedroom per our regulations, and if they already have clearly 6 bedrooms, then this is a 7th bedroom, and we're not even nitpicking any other rooms in the house. You're just going clearly, like, we haven't, not really drilling down on the other rooms, so we're just, there's 6 bedrooms, there could be another room that qualifies as a bedroom, but we're just really focused on the one room. It's just like, I kind of feel like, I don't know, we've never wavered on our definition, and if they have to upgrade it, I'd rather just see it done now, because those are the ones that fall through the cracks, that never get done. And we've seen that happen time and time again. I mean, I hate to, it's tough, it's a tough call, but if it has to be done anyway, I just don't see why, if we give waiver from, the definitions are there for a reason. And if we waiver.
are they redoing, not redoing, working in the basement, turning that into a room?
It was originally on that was part of their building permit back in 2018 to
Watch.
begin with.
But if she's
They
a-
didn't finish it because they changed contractors and they wanted to move into the house. So they got occupancy for the house, not the basement, with the basement framed in, and started to do the work. They got a new contractor who pulled a new permit to finish that work this year, which is what triggered this review.
Yeah, and if it's one lady, one person living there, and for 8 years or 9 years, since 2017, they
It was
have,
completed in 2021. The house was built in 2021. That's when they got
Oh, all
occupancy.
right. So, for 4 years, it's like, that means they're planning on using that as a bedroom downstairs. You need more space. Other than that,
What triggered this to come back before us?
The building permit.
The building permit. Because, and then, obviously, people finish off rooms because they have more people, and they have, other than that, you leave it unfinished.
That's why you spend.
Well, I think it was always the intent to finish the room.
Right, but
I think it was just a
No,
matter of
we
the
get
timing of
that.
the construction.
we get that, but the regulations have changed, and that's what we're just trying to figure out.
Well, I see why something was generated, because change of a contractor
Yeah. Built-
initiated.
They also closed out the original permit because they wanted occupancy.
So then that was on them, not on us, so they closed it. So if they kept it open, we'd maybe have more
Yeah, it
choices, but
wouldn't
now I
be a
don't think we
question.
do.
We wouldn't even know.
Right. So I think that has an impact too, because they closed it without finishing it. So I think it's kind of more on them for closing it out, with the regulations changing. What do you think, Miguel or Margaret?
Well, I mean, they closed it out because they added an approved disposal works permit for a 6-bedroom house that was approved with the same floor plans that we're looking at tonight.
And
I
Rob,
don't think they should be punished.
no one's trying to punish anybody, Rob. What we're trying to do is make sure that things comply with our current regulations. And this didn't come before the Board of Health, so we try to work as much as we can with applicants, we really do. As you can tell, we're really thinking about this, because we're struggling with it, but
Oh,
we're trying to
absolutely.
look at both sides of it, and if it has to be upgraded anyway, either that or we just, she can't finish it until she
Well,
upgrades it.
We cannot force somebody to put in IA system.
Right, but it's like,
If it doesn't require it.
but they have it's a 7-bedroom that we're
Even it's 7 bedrooms, that system,
Yes, we can't require an IA system, but they only have a 6-bedroom septic. They need a 7-bedroom septic to finish off the room downstairs.
well, that's the only thing that scares
Yeah.
me, is that somehow we gotta make that not designated and cannot be used as a bedroom. And how you
You can't do
you
that.
can't
That's-
enforce it.
You can't enforce that. That's not enforceable. That happens a lot.
Oh, yeah.
So I don't know. Miguel, do you have anything to say?
Yeah, I have several comments, but I will ask for your opinion because I know the applicant. She's been my patient for over 10 years. So am I supposed to abstain and not comment? Or
Yes,
can I
you should
comment?
abstain. You should actually abstain from the vote as well and
We
from
haven't got
commenting.
enough people to, do we?
So I abstain.
Yeah.
Uh,
So-
Do we have enough people to?
Yes, to vote, we do. Yeah, we have 3. Margaret, do you have? I don't know, I just feel like if we go down this path, it's just gonna snowball.
Actually, I think we have nothing to stand on.
No, we do, we have a bedroom definition. They're trying to refinish it. They closed out they've closed out their thing. It's because they closed it and it's not open that we can't go by the original plans no longer stand because they closed out their building permit and they finished the septic. They did the septic and they closed out the original permit. So this is a new permit, right, a new bedroom. So whatever was on these plans is done, it's closed out. We're seeing
Okay.
this, it's closed out because
But
they
if
closed out the
They
permit.
make a 6-foot opening.
It doesn't, they're not going to be able to because it's a 6-foot opening into an unfinished area. Because there's no way to put a 6-foot opening.
That's what they make Sawzalls for.
Again, it's clearly being finished for a reason. Like I said, this, whatever,
If that room, sorry to interrupt, but if that room is, because there's a doorway to other areas, I mean, that kind of eliminates any expectation of privacy. So, I mean, that's one aspect of a bedroom definition. There's no realistic expectation of privacy in the room because you're forced to walk through that to gain access to other areas of the house. There's no separate hallway.
what are you forced to walk through, Rob? So first of all, let's be clear, though. I do want to be clear, is whatever is on these plans that you gave us is closed out. It doesn't exist for the permit that you have, that permit was closed out. So we're talking about old information, and that's part of the thing that we're bringing up. The Board of Health has never been, in 2020, wasn't involved in this. So, or in 2017, or before. So this is the first time this is coming before us. So it's whatever's on here really doesn't exist in our world right now because this is all, these permits are closed. This,
Understood.
so that's why I'm just trying to say, you're asking us to
grant
grandfather something in that has never been before us. That's where I'm struggling, is this is just, might as well, is in the dead file, it's done. So you're asking us to grandfather something that isn't even open. So, I mean, I'd be more inclined to have them redo a submission, so at least we can review it, a whole packet, and then decide, or just decide to upgrade it, because I don't think it's, like I said, we can't grandfather anything in, because there's nothing to grandfather. Because these plans don't even exist anymore, the building permit's been closed, and if it was open, we'd have more choices. But because they wanted to move in, that's where I'm struggling. And I'm struggling on why would we waiver when we haven't even seen any plans, Rob? Like, why would we waiver? Because there's nothing for us to waiver on because we haven't seen new plans to waiver on. We're looking at old plans. That's where I'm struggling.
Well, yeah.
And again, you
The
can
plans
say
haven't
it,
changed, but I understand
but
your
again,
standpoint,
yeah.
From your perspective, it's a fresh
Yes,
application.
and that's why I'm trying to, that's why I'm struggling, because to me, I can't waiver on something that none of us voted on or saw, and we can't make any kind of exceptions, because, one, we haven't done that in the past, but we don't even know what we're accepting on because we weren't involved in it. And that's where I struggle to approve something tonight without having to actually upgrade or do a new application. Like, that's why I struggle.
So I'd like to say just a couple more things, and then we can discuss, I guess, maybe how we want to just approach this in general. But, so, in terms of the bedroom definition, one of the things, like I was starting to say before, was
Wait.
that the expectation of privacy, where when you're coming down the stairs, you're immediately into the room here. There's no wall here. You're just into the open room, and then you have
That's still-
access to
Rob?
other parts of the basement, and including egress to the outside through the bulkhead, as well as like crawl space access. So there's no real expectation of privacy, and then I understand that this is not necessarily deemed per the Bourne Board of Health regulations, but I mean, these are the windows for the basement room that we're talking about. I mean, these are not egress windows. They don't meet the definition, based on the state definition, which I understand yours is more restrictive, but I just wanted to point that out as part of that.
Yeah, but what's that there, Rob, can you go back to that picture? What's the,
Sure.
what's the one that, it looks like there was a window there that you sealed off? See that shape, see that
Is it over
shingling?
here?
See that
Privacy
shingling up
fence.
there? No, the shingling on the light shingling? It looks like there was a window there.
Oh, yeah, I see what you're saying.
So-
That's the first floor, and I'm not sure
No,
if
I know,
that's
but-
the window or if that's just discoloration of the window, but that's on
Again,
the
it looks
first
like the
floor.
size of a window, but maybe we would be able to see that if we saw the plans. We haven't, Rob. We know what our definition is, and we also count, you're saying walking down a stair is in privacy, but we count walking upstairs too, over a garage as a bedroom, which is the same concept, only one's up, one's down. That's why I'm just trying to say, we know what
That's
our,
true, except
again,
with the
Rob.
exception that if you're over a garage, that's, there's no other room. Like if you were.
Rob, we
you walked
understand.
over to a garage and there was a living space room and bedroom, you would only count the bedroom sealed off area, you wouldn't count that as two rooms.
So,
I mean,
so
two
Rob,
rooms.
we know what our definition is. We're not trying to debate with you. We're just trying to, we're not trying to debate. Like, we want the best thing
Yeah,
for
no, I
everybody,
understand.
but, so you can tell us, you can read whatever's in the regulations as much as you want. But the point is according to our current regulation, this is counted as a bedroom. You know, we all know it, you know, everybody sitting on this table knows that, and you probably do too. So we're just trying to figure out what to do now, being that this is the first time we've seen it. And because the permit was closed out, our hands are more tied than they would have been if this had happened 4 years ago, you know, when they got the thing, if they came back then, instead of waiting now when, you know, they already got an extension once. So that's the thing we're struggling with. We're not trying to punish anybody. But it's, we have nothing to grandfather in or make a waiver on because there's nothing to waiver because we don't have a submission. It's a closed packet. You know, it's like, and then, you know, even, like I said, haven't seen like the full schematic, you know, we're seeing a couple pages here, but we don't know what's happened since 2017 or 20 or 21. So that's what we're struggling with. And then struggling with that, I guess I would say we either need to, one, you know, just really only a couple things can happen. Either you come back, you know, come back, they're gonna have to do the septic anyway. So either do we just do it now, and then that way, because other than that, we're gonna come back again, and it's gonna be the same thing, and, you know,
They either gotta come up with a 6-foot opening or a new septic system.
yeah, and I don't think, like, that's not gonna work, because the opening is coming from the stairwell. That's what you said.
Okay,
It's
you
coming
got,
from
one's going downstairs and the other's
Wait,
coming.
I can't even see that. Hold on. Go to the room. This is the room right here. This is the room right here. It's got a fireplace, it's got, I feel like I've seen this thing. Bathroom, I mean,
See, those
it's got a
windows.
shower,
Those.
like a shower, it has a shower, like this, like, why,
I
you
need
know what I
one.
mean? It just makes it seem like, they already did this opening here to avoid this being a bedroom. Like, this is part of
See,
the,
this is what I thought you
No,
could get a
it's this.
6-foot. Yeah.
but it's
which
this,
is-
this is the spot, because basically, this is still the room. This is the area, yeah. So I don't know, I'm
See,
not,
the other thing on that picture that he showed us of the back.
that's here, right here. That's this, the picture is, where's it coming out? I don't know, I can't really see it.
You see the size of the windows? If they're in that room, they
I
don't
don't-
fit the fire
again, but we
department
don't-
regulations as far as it has to be big enough for a human.
So it's like I
That's
said, but we
their
don't know
problem.
because we haven't, like I
That's,
said,
it should have been approved back then.
but we never saw it. That's the whole thing.
That's right, I didn't even know about this.
Right. So, like I said,
Have them submit a new packet.
I probably would.
I'm just gonna reiterate that
I-
you guys never saw this as this wouldn't be a permit application that would have come before the Board of Health.
I know, and that's the problem. Now it is before us, and that's why,
So, yep, and so this would be what we consider a waiver for continued use of the existing septic system to accommodate work that they're proposing.
but,
And so a waiver would be from an existing system to accommodate some kind of work that they're proposing, not to the septic system. And that's what the application that they have submitted before you today is. So they wouldn't have provided new plans. They would have just proposed what they're doing in the house and that they are asking to use the existing system to accommodate that.
but that's closed out, so it's just like, I don't,
So the building permit that's open right now is not closed out. That is the basement. That's what they're asking you to accommodate.
yes, and they're putting in and it's a
so-
7-bedroom definition per our definition, so that's why it's hard to accommodate. I guess I'm just struggling without,
Because you're saying that the old permit is null and void because it was closed out.
Mm-hmm.
And
this is a new permit, so it's basically as if they're putting in a new bed, a new room
Which
right now.
brings them under
The
the
bedroom
new
Yes, the new
regulations.
regulations.
That's what,
And no matter what, they're going to have to upgrade anyway, so why, like, and then they're gonna have to come, basically, you know, they're gonna have to do it anyway, and it's like, what if you have to do it in a year or 2 years? It's like, why not, you know, it just doesn't make any sense to me.
well, the state.
And then with the shower down there and the bathroom, you know, it's just, I mean, it has a bathtub in it. For a room that's not gonna be used as a bedroom seems quite unusual for me, based on the size of the house already, with, you know, everyone has, it looks like their own en-suites. You know, so it just seems just a little, like, if it's not a bedroom, why do you need a tub? Why do you need a bath, you know, a shower instead of like a little half bath? It just doesn't make sense. And then, especially if it meets our definition. So I don't know, either we have to make a decision or just say, wait. So the decision is,
Madam Chair, am I allowed to ask a question?
no, you're not, Miguel. You have to refrain from the discussion, I think, because I think he has a conflict.
How
doesn't
about
he?
asking a question?
I don't.
Say?
Are you stepping off from the board? You can't ask it as a Board of Health member. You can ask it as a member of the public. You have to step off, but technically, if you have a relationship with the applicant, you're not supposed to participate in the meeting, in the discussion either, because it could potentially influence other board members.
Okay, can I ask the question as a member of the community?
After we straighten this out, after public comments, you can.
So you guys haven't entertained a motion or entered into discussion yet, so he could still, as a member of the public, as could anyone else, approach the podium and ask a question.
We haven't gotten there yet.
But that's, I'm just saying, I mean, that's where we're at in the meeting. You guys haven't made a motion yet, so that's, they are, public members are still allowed to
No, I
make
understand
comment.
that. I'm just trying to make sure Miguel doesn't,
Influence anything,
Yeah.
absolutely. Mm-hmm.
not that we don't value your opinion, Miguel, we do, and we wish you were, we wish you didn't know the applicant right now.
My question is not for the members of the board, it's for Ms. Shea, the agent. But I'll wait
Yeah,
until my
well,
turn.
I guess your question cannot be addressed to Ms. Shea, it has to be addressed to the Board of Health.
Okay, I'll do it to the Board of Health. When you
So-
let me talk.
I think you're clear on what you want to do. I
I
think I'm clear.
kind of think we don't have a leg to stand on, to be honest
It's
with
a-
you. I know what you're saying
You can
about
vote
the
however you
bathroom.
want, I think you're wrong, I mean, it's a bedroom, per our
But where
definition.
was
What do you
it?
mean a leg to stand, it's a bedroom, per our definition, so,
On today's standards, yes.
yes, and that's what we're voting on, today's
Right,
standards.
I know what you're
So,
saying.
there's,
That's why I'm saying, is there any way they can come up with a 6-foot open?
I don't know, because the plan, it's not really clear on the plans what they're doing there. So
Well,
do you
what-
want to come back with new plans? Do you want to come back, Rob, with different plans and try and make a 6-foot opening somewhere so we can see it? I don't even know, because it's hard to tell from these
Yeah,
plans.
I mean, based on, and I obviously, this is a difficult,
Well, it's a catch-22
difficult
for us.
problem, but, I think based on how we're looking tonight, I don't think I would want to take a vote tonight without, continuing off and seeing if we can't, potentially modify one of the other bedrooms in the house, or modify the floor plans for the basement, in some way, some way to, get rid of a 6th bedroom, or, get rid of a bedroom to make the 6 bedrooms, The other thing it can do is allow us to run a more up-to-date nitrogen analysis of the lot, and we can show that as well.
Yeah, and then I think that's a great idea, Rob,
The overall nitrogen load.
especially because there's a tub there, and, a tub,
Yep.
and it appears to be like a a bedroom, and probably there's more, probably have more flexibility upstairs, you're right, to accommodate,
Closet?
to make something work for you, because we do, obviously,
Yeah.
we're struggling with this, so we haven't said, we
and
haven't said
I-
yes or no, I mean,
I'd like to have a
we,
conversation with
Yeah. So you know,
with Carol and just make her aware, just that it's the difficulties to it, and
yeah, so,
just get everybody on the same page, so.
yeah, so maybe then, if, I mean, obviously, you'll be coming back, but maybe, like I said, if, come back with plans, like, that we can see, like the plans as they are now, and even if you bring some photos or something, and then, like I said, because right now, it's a 6-bedroom with this thing, it is, we do consider it a bedroom, that room downstairs. So, which would require an upgrade or some modification to your existing system, which is going to have to happen anywhere in a certain number of years. But, yeah, we'd rather you have time with your applicant to, figure it out and come back with something that's palatable, without us having to grandfather you, which we don't do, or haven't done, or, somehow waiver from something that we can't waiver from because it's closed out. So, and I hope you understand that too. If it was open, we could waiver from it or make an exception. So, like I said, we want to work with you. We want you to do what, we want you to be able to figure it out. So, with that being said, I don't think we want to, vote on it, right?
Okay.
You want to, Rob, do you want to?
No, I mean, I would love to, I would love to request a continuance, till, I don't have the meeting schedule in front of me, but potentially the next meeting.
Yeah, so basically,
May 14th is the
Move to continue.
that might be a tough one, the next available meeting, yeah, so basically,
It may, if the next meeting is tough, it might make more sense on our end, even still, just to push it to the second, the one after.
yeah, so would you be flexible on the date, and with
Sure.
Katie can reach out to you on the date, then maybe you'll have
Yeah.
time, because you might not be done, maybe you should
Yeah.
reach out to the health department to get on the schedule instead? That might make more sense,
Yeah, we
because then
do
you can
that,
figure it
yeah,
out.
Because if they have to redevelop some floor plans, that may take a little time, so.
Yeah, and Rob, obviously,
Next.
okay,
Can we?
so we
make-
have to, basically, he wants to,
We're gonna make a motion to postpone this to
Yeah,
a
to-
future date.
and then he's gonna come back with yeah.
Correct, but what I'm thinking is let him call
Yeah,
Katie
he is.
to arrange this date when he knows, but right now.
Yeah, that's what he's doing. Yeah, that's what he's
Okay,
doing. Yeah,
let's do that.
yeah.
I mean, the other thing is, I'm wondering if realistically, if they were to update floor plans to remove a bedroom someplace, we almost don't even need to come back. If we could just withdraw the request for the waiver of the grandfather for the bedroom, because at that point, we just meet the 6-bedroom definition.
Well,
And that can just be approved administratively.
yeah, but unfortunately, now you're not going to be able to be approved administratively, because that's why you're in this predicament to begin with. So we do want you to come back before us.
Sure.
Um,
Yeah, that's.
Yeah, and Rob, I'm very confident that you'll figure it out. But like I said, we really want to make it work. Like, we're not, like I said, obviously you can tell we're all struggling, all of us. So, do you want
That's a
to,
tricky one.
yeah,
She's a victim of just the length of the project and how long it's gone on.
yeah, and that's exactly what it is, it's the length of the project,
Exactly.
yeah. So, because we don't want anybody to feel like they're a victim due to us or anybody in town or any department or, you know what I mean? So we're just trying to work with you. All right, so does somebody want to make a motion just to continue this to a future meeting, and the applicant will reach out to the Board of Health, the Health Department, to schedule
I'd
that?
like to make a motion to postpone this to a future date to be arranged with the department, with the office, and we can go from there to correct this situation of what you're gonna propose to us.
Yeah, so they'll have to come before us, though, the
Yeah.
Board of Health. And-
Second?
Margaret, do you have a second?
I second it.
Okay, so we'll do a roll call vote.
Yes.
Christine, Margaret?
Yes.
Barbara votes yes, and Miguel, you're
Abstain.
abstaining. So, Rob, thank you very much. I know we appreciate you,
No,
you
thank you
know,
guys.
working through it with us. And I think we can come to some solution that'll work for everybody. So anyway, just let Katie know when you want to come back
I
in.
appreciate the consideration.
Okay.
Obviously, it's a difficult deliberation on that, so.
You got handed it, and we got handed it. It's all new.
All right.
Yeah. All right, well, thank you again. Have a great night.
Rob, thank you. Okay, so the next things are the tobacco violations. It's a violation of, I think it says 105, CMR, oh, God, I can't even read that. I can't read those numbers. Yeah, I can read. 105 CMR 665.010A. The minimum standards for retail sale. Sorry, I have bad eyes tonight. The retail sale of tobacco and electronic nicotine delivery systems in Bourne Board of Health tobacco regulations, sale of a tobacco product to a person under the minimum legal age. The first one up is Cumberland Farms at 435 Shore Road on March 31st, 2025, and it's their first offense. Katie, you have the tobacco agent's report.
Yes. So, let's see. So the Tobacco Control Division of Barnstable County and one of their employees went into the store on March 31st. The underage purchaser requested cigarillos, backwoods, and the sale was made. Purchaser made payment using $1 bills, and the sale went through to the minimum under the minimum legal sales age at that time.
Is someone from Cumberland Farms here? Oh, do you want to step up to the podium, ma'am? And just state your name, please?
Jenny Raver, I'm a district manager for Cumberland Farms.
Okay. Do you want to talk about the incident, or do you agree with it, or?
Unfortunately, I agree with this one. We do train them to the best of our ability. We have 90-day trainings, annual trainings. We do everything we can to try to stop these underage sales, but this did happen.
Yeah, are you aware of what the regulations call for in terms of when on a first offense?
First offense, I believe it's a $1,000 fine and
Yeah,
1 day suspension.
And 1 day
correct?
suspension, yeah. So unfortunately, the way our regulations are written, we can't waiver from those. So, the 1 day, could you reach out, we'd have to have you be closed for 1 business day, or not closed for 1 business day, but, not be able to sell the products. I think you don't have to take them out of the thing.
So
but-
for the 1 day suspension, it would just need to be removed from the shelf, but it could be remain on site if the door can be locked.
Yeah,
Okay.
which is a little more easier to-
Usually we put them into totes and we seal them with tote seals. Is
That's
that
perfect,
okay?
yeah. Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah, and then basically, some from the health department, you just need to give them access, or some from the Board of Health in case they want to come in and observe. So Katie, do you have a day that you prefer to have that done?
We could do a day next week or the week after.
All right, so do you want to leave it that you'll arrange it with her?
Yeah, we can contact you guys tomorrow and set up a schedule.
Okay.
Okay,
Do you want to leave your phone number with Anne Marie, or the best person to contact about that?
yeah, so,
Sorry, I'm just gonna get her cell phone number.
that's fine. While you're doing that, do you mind if we do a vote, or you have any?
No, that's fine.
Do you guys have any questions, or does somebody want to make a vote?
No?
Margaret?
No questions.
Okay. Miguel, do you have any questions?
No?
So, Margaret, do you want?
I'll make a motion, yes. I move that Cumberland Farms, located at 435 Shore Road, for the first tobacco offense in 36 months, sale of a tobacco product to a person under the legal age occurring on March 31st, 2025, shall pay $1,000 fine and suspend sale of all tobacco products for 1 business day. That date is to be arranged. All tobacco products shall be removed from the shelves and placed in a secure location within the building. The business must provide access to the health department or any member of the Board of Health to assess compliance.
Okay, just a second, anyone?
Second.
Second.
Okay, so roll call vote. Margaret,
Yes?
Dusty,
Yes.
Miguel, I know, I still do it anyway.
Yes.
It's forced habit. And Barbara votes yes. So that'll be the $1,000 fine. You can arrange that, you can talk to the health department about that. And then the date, you can coordinate with the health department as well,
Okay,
all right?
all right.
And,
I think I should stay up here maybe.
Oh, you're for MacArthur too?
Oh, yeah.
All right.
Sorry, wasn't gonna walk away on you guys.
Okay, yeah, so the second one is Cumberland Farms, 4 MacArthur Boulevard, also on March 31st, 2025, the first offense, which would be the $1,000 fine and the one-day closure. Katie, do you want to go through that? Is it the same, similar situation?
Very similar situation, yes.
Okay.
I do have some concerns with this shop, actually, that I'd like to just bring up, if possible. At the time of the shop, an older gentleman came into the store with the agent and proceeded to cause a scene, I guess would be the best way, saying that he was with the shopper and that he was purchasing the cigar. And I feel at some point that shopper should have withdrawn. The manager asked him for his ID. He said he didn't have it. He refused the sale, and then this gentleman got involved. I don't know who this gentleman was. I only viewed it on video, but I do feel that the team member at that time was put in a sticky position, and at some point that shopper should have withdrawn and said, "I'm sorry, but I'm not going to continue with this purchase."
Do we, is that in any of the?
I can definitely refer that to the Tobacco Control Commission, and did you speak with them as well?
I believe somebody from the corporate office did,
okay,
and
yeah,
he
but-
said the shopper was in there alone, but
Do
I
you
have video to show that he was
Do you still have the
not.
video?
I do.
Okay, so I would suggest you preserve that, and then what we'll do is, do you, maybe perhaps we make a motion to delay this one until, the video is seen by the tobacco agent? And then maybe reconvene on this one, because obviously, that's something that I guess we still should look at, as long as you still have that video.
Yeah, absolutely. The corporate office actually keeps
So
all
I would
video for
probably
6 months.
get a copy of the video and maybe give it to the Board of Health.
Absolutely.
Does that make sense, Katie? And then also give it to, should we give it to the tobacco
Yep.
Yeah, so basically have the video, give copies, I'd probably hand deliver it.
Okay.
Instead of sending it over the internet.
Okay.
To both departments, like to the tobacco, I don't even know where you contact them.
I can give a copy to Bob.
Yeah, so if you just give them both to Katie, or the
Okay.
health department.
There's no dialogue on it. It's just video. Okay.
Yeah,
But
which
you
is
can
fine.
absolutely see the interaction.
Yeah, so I think that's worth, obviously, we want to look at that. So does somebody want to make a motion that will delay this one until the video's looked at and, we can determine next steps once that's done?
I make a motion that we delay a decision on Cumberland Farms 4 MacArthur Boulevard for the tobacco offense until this video is reviewed. And shall we can have them come back?
Yeah, they'll come back once the tobacco agent looks at the video and it's, in the health department. If we need to see the video, we can see it at some point.
So go assess the
But I'd rather
video.
wait for the tobacco agent to review it first, and then, the health agent can also look at it.
So moved.
Okay? Dustin?
Second.
Okay, so roll call vote, just to delay action on this until the video is reviewed.
Aye.
Dusty,
Yes.
Barbara votes yes. Miguel?
Yes.
Okay, so we'll wait on that one.
All right, thank you for your consideration.
And then, like I said, just work with Katie on the fine and the date that you're closing, and then we'll let you know when you can come back in for the other one.
Okay,
All right,
thank you
thank
very
you.
much.
Okay. The next one is Newborn Corp., Express Smart, Mobile, 360 MacArthur Boulevard on March 31st, 2025. It's a second offense. So,
Good evening, everyone.
hi,
Sure.
could you just
My-
state your name, and then I'm just going to ask the health agent just to talk about what happened.
So my
since
name
you're
is
at the
Rachit Patel, and I'm co-owner of Fixer Smart Bone.
Okay. Yeah, if you don't mind, if we can just have Katie just read the report, and then we'll have you speak.
Yeah.
All right, thank you.
So the tobacco control agent and one of their employees went into the store on March 31st. The employee attempted to purchase cigarillos, backwoods cigarillos. The sale was made using $1 bills. The approximate age of the clerk was adult, and the sex of the clerk was a male.
Okay. So do you have anything to say about that, or do you want to?
So unfortunately, that's true.
Okay.
So I checked the cameras and I asked my employee about it. So he didn't recognize his proper age. So because that guy who came in with the full-grown beard and mustache, so he thought he's about 21. So it happened. I mean, he didn't check the ID.
Yeah, so, and again, I think you know the sale is made once, I think they either ask it or they put it on the counter or something like that, so maybe, regardless of age, maybe just check everybody, and then
Yeah,
that
we
might
train
help
hard.
avoid it in the future. You know, I actually feel quite pleased when I get carded, you know, but, you know, so just better safe than sorry, but anyway, the second offense is a $2,000 fine, and then it's a 14 consecutive day suspension of the ability to sell tobacco products. So,
So my humble request, so, I mean, we work so hard about, and someone just did that mistake, and we ruin our, I mean, they ruin our impression, our reputation, plus business, I mean, it's hurt my business. We really train them very hard. We start a new program, online training, the V-Card online training certification.
Katie, have
You
you seen any
consider,
of that?
please.
Have you seen any of that training that they do, or have they given
Yep,
that
I
to you?
have. It's been one of the initiatives that Barnstable County is looking to implement as a requirement for permitting tobacco establishments. It hasn't been adopted yet, but those trainings are some really good at, you know, getting the point across that you're supposed to ID people and follow the state regs pretty stringently.
Yeah, so maybe
I imagine, ask Katie, on the 14 days, do they have to remove the tobacco product off premises?
yeah, that's what we did yes, that's what we did for the last meeting.
So he understands that.
Yeah, so, 60, yeah, so that's, so this is basically a mobile gas station. Yeah, definitely, it'll be the $2,000 fine, and I'm wondering if we wait for the tobacco control agent on the next meeting to talk about the closure, or should we just do the 14-day consecutive closure?
Up to you guys, it's your
What do you
regulation.
think? I mean, we did it for the last people. What else, do you sell other things in the store? Like bread, like what else do you sell?
So convenience store, I mean,
Oh, so it's a convenience store,
Yeah.
okay. Yeah, so, and it's consecutive days, Kate, yeah.
Yes.
Are we gonna talk about dates, or again, do you have,
If you guys want to pick dates, absolutely. If we want to do it over the phone with the owners through the health department, that's fine too.
okay, all right.
Yeah, I think in this particular instance, that we need to be consistent. We don't have the ability to waiver from our regulations
Yeah,
right now, so we have to do the 14 days.
Regs, minimum.
So maybe you work with, you know, the health agent on the timing of that. You just have to schedule it within like the next 30 days with her. You know, so if you can do that, you know, and maybe try and mitigate the business interruption. I would also encourage you, we're encouraging everybody that sells tobacco, when we review the tobacco regulations, that you participate and come to the meetings so we can discuss, you know, the parameters or if there is a violation, you know, because we really need the input from the vendors. Unfortunately, we don't have the ability to waiver from it right now. and our regulations are less stringent than the state. So, yeah, if you can just work with Katie on that. I mean, we haven't voted yet, but, so, does somebody want to make a motion?
Right here.
Oh,
I move that Express Mart Mobile, located at 360 MacArthur Boulevard, for the second tobacco offense in 36 months, sale of a tobacco product to a person under the legal age occurring on March 31st, 2025, shall pay a $2,000 fine and suspend sale of all tobacco products for 14 consecutive business days. The dates are going to be determined, but it should be within the next 30 days. All tobacco products shall be removed from the store and secured in an alternate location. The business must provide access to the health department or any member of the Board of Health to assess compliance.
Margaret, maybe, sorry, I just have one other comment
Okay.
about that since the second hasn't been made. Maybe we stick with the fine and then we'll have him come back on the suspension timing of it when,
Do you mean the number of days or
no,
the-
it will
or
have
the-
to.
or when it's
just
gonna happen?
The timing of the, or on the suspension, on the, right here, you know, the suspension per the Board of Health regulations, have them come back
Okay.
when we have a full board, I'll
Sure.
say.
Yep. Sure.
And then that way, because we don't have a full board right now, and
Okay.
nor do we have the tobacco agent, control agent here, so, or available, so I'd like to have a discussion with the person, you know, that person, before we make a decision on the timing of your, you know, the timing of your suspension.
All right, so I'm going to amend it, my motion to say that, that the suspension of the sale of tobacco as per our regulations, and
It'll be
it will
delayed
be
until.
determined at a later date.
Yeah, so basically, we'll be in touch with you on that, but you will.
Then I can sell.
Yeah, until we vote on the timing of your suspension. You should go ahead, though, and take care of the fee right away, and then once we have a full board, we'll have you come back in. Does that make sense? Does that sound good? Okay. So do we have a second on that?
Second.
All right, so roll call vote. Oh, sorry.
My name is Parveen Patel, and I'm also a co-owner of the MacArthur Boulevard Express Mart. And I have a question that if we wait longer and longer, that we come in the season, and we are already hurting for 14 days, that is going to be a very hard on us to pay next 3 months' salary anyway. But if we do early as possible, that would be better. So
Okay.
we can take the advantage of the season. Otherwise, we will lose more money.
So do you want to start it right away then?
If you yes.
So Katie, is that
There is no
doable?
option then, yeah.
Like,
I mean, we
Is it-
can probably be able to assess starting on Friday if you wanted to do that, or we can wait till next week.
We can start from
Saturday.
no Monday.
Monday.
yeah, then you
Yeah.
get they get those,
The
then
28th?
they're only over one weekend, yeah.
Let me make sure we have.
This week is the vacation week, so we gotta cover that. Saturday.
Yep.
Yeah.
We can start
should start at Saturday.
Saturday. We can start on Saturday.
Well,
We
they
don't
don't
have
work
someone
on-
on staff to come verify on
Okay,
Saturday,
so
so we could do a Monday with
Monday
you
would
guys.
be better,
Yeah.
okay.
Mhm.
Okay, so,
Scrap that motion, we can start over again, or?
yeah, so, okay, so I'm going to ask that the two of you sit down from the podium, so that way we'll make a new motion.
Okay.
Okay, thank you very much for your input.
Thank you.
Yeah, so basically, just
Do
amending
I
it.
withdraw the?
Yes, I don't know. Do you have
That's
to withdraw
probably
that?
best, yeah.
Yes, you have to withdraw that,
So I withdraw that previous,
and you're withdrawing your
Motion.
second, and then she's going to make
I
a new motion.
withdraw my second.
This has not been an easy meeting.
so do you want me to go with the first motion?
Yeah.
Yes, okay. So, I'll just read the whole thing. We are on Express Mart. I move that Express Mart Mobile, located at 360 MacArthur Boulevard, for the second tobacco offense in 36 months, shall pay a $2,000 fine and suspend sale of all tobacco products for 14 consecutive business days, And the date of the beginning will be
28th.
the 28th of April. All tobacco products shall be removed from your store and secured in an alternate location, and the business must provide access to the health department and/or any member of the Board of Health to assess compliance.
Second.
Okay, so roll call vote. We're already doing the vote, so, yeah, thank you.
Aye.
Aye. Dusty,
Yes.
Miguel,
Yes.
and Chair, and Barbara votes yes. Yeah, any follow-up from that, you can just work with the health department on.
The question is, it's all tobacco product or also the nicotine product, whether nicotine product.
It's anything
Yeah, anything
according to our
qualified under
regulations.
that permit, yes.
Yeah, and they'll work with you on that day. All right, the next one is
AN.
Ayan Inc., DBA Cape Side Convenience at 105 Trowbridge Road on March 31st, 2025, and it's the third offense. So Katie, do you mind if we just have the health agent speak, ma'am, first, and then we'll have you give your name?
Sure. So again, this sale happened on March 31st. The employee with the director of the tobacco control program went in and purchased backwoods cigarillos, used $10 bill. The sale was made at that time.
Okay. So can you state your name, please?
My name is Sonia Islam. I'm in charge of the store in the absence of the owner.
Okay.
Hello, everybody.
Hi, do you have anything to say about the offense, or?
Well, the offense has been made. Unfortunately, it has been made by the owner himself. Yes, we understand this was the third offense. After the first two, we trained everybody well. Everybody is checking the ID. Unfortunately, this time it was the owner himself.
Okay. So, and then the owner is out of, bless you, is out of the country, is not available?
Owner is on a flight right now. Yeah, he submitted a letter also.
Okay. I guess with that being said, I mean, we, clearly, the offense, you seem to agree with it already, but I think perhaps we make a motion, Margaret, and then,
Sorry to interrupt you. On his behalf, we just have a request. Yes, we understand this is going to be a hefty amount fine. And the only request is not to suspend it for a long time. In that way, it will be very hard on our part to pay the fine and to survive.
yeah, so what we thought we would do is wait till he's back so that he can participate, you know, so that he can come to the meeting and participate. So I think he's back the end of June, somewhere
Probably,
like that.
yes.
So the motion will reflect that, is that, you know, there is the fine. And again, we do work with vendors on that, on, you know, some sort of payment arrangement, so you don't have to pay that all at once. And then, like I said, we'd like to have, I mean, you and him, you know, him at least come back when he's back in June, and we'll deal with the suspension according to our regulations.
Sure. Thank you. Thank you.
So I move that Cape Side Convenience, located at 105 Trowbridge Road, is for the third tobacco offense in 36 months, sale of a tobacco product to a person under the legal age occurring on March 31st, 2025, shall pay a $5,000 fine and suspend sale of all tobacco products per our regulations. When you do this, all tobacco products shall be removed from the store and secured in an alternate location. And the business must provide access to the health department or any member of the Board of Health to assess compliance. Now, the suspension and timing and payment will be addressed at a second meeting. So we haven't set any dates for this. It will be, the second meeting is proposed to be in June, unless discussed beforehand, you know, at a different time.
Until then, we can continue selling the tobacco products?
Yes, and then someone from the health department will reach out to you to let you know what meeting that,
The date of the next meeting?
yes, that you should come back at.
Okay. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Dusty, does somebody want a second?
Second.
Okay, Dusty second, so roll call vote. Margaret?
Aye.
Dusty?
Ian. Aye.
Miguel?
Aye.
And Barbara, aye. Okay, well, thank you very much.
you.
Someone will be in touch to have you come back.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay, so the next agenda item is public comment on non-agenda items. Do you have anything? No? Okay. Health Director's report?
I don't have anything from you guys today, no.
Okay.
Any updates on 22 Marsh, what is it, Marsh Pond, the, over in
Yeah.
Sagamore?
So at this time, as far as we know, the dwelling has been vacated. One occupant remains on the property, and this was discussed, I did discuss this with Bob, in one of a trailer that was on site. He has been notified that that is not permissible, under the Board of Health's campers and trailers regulation, as well as additional zoning bylaws. And that if that continues, then further enforcement would come his way, but we can enforce, the order to vacate on the trailer, as that wasn't a part of the original board's order.
Oh, okay.
The occupant has informed me that they started a new contract service with Eversource, and they were waiting on a licensed electrician to do the actual work. I haven't seen any permits pulled yet. That was last week that we had that conversation. I haven't heard anything from the North Sagamore Water District regarding the water service yet.
Thank you.
It sounds like basically they found a little loophole there.
Yep.
All right. And then comments from the, anything else before?
No.
Okay. Comments from the board regarding future agenda items? You got to be up on this, on the event.
I want to give you an update on that, but before that, I would like to ask Ms. Shea, just like when we were talking last summer about the mosquitoes and you know, and having puddles, and how about for tick management? And we're seeing a lot of tick bites, and there was a study done here in the Cape, I think it was about 5 years ago, that showed that 75% of all the ticks were infected with Lyme. So it's 3 out of 4. So, you know, and it can cause significant issues health-wise. But what we're going to do as a Board of Health to inform population is, you know, so they can try to minimize exposure.
So,
And, wait, Katie,
yeah.
and my friend got a rare, something from a tick this year, like really weird thing that impacted him neurologically.
a lot of the tick
does.
illnesses are neurological, yes.
Like, yeah, some
very
rare
serious.
tick thing.
Yeah, so we generally do a tick awareness, like little news blast. The county is offering an update before the tick season gets pretty hectic this Friday, actually. So I'll have some more information, and from there I can probably prepare a press release and make our website a little bit more tick user friendly as well.
The website looks great, by the way.
Thank you.
There's so many new things on there, I love it.
Miguel, did you say 3/4 of the ticks? What was the percentage you said?
Yeah, 75%.
Okay,
thanks.
Wow.
We're also seeing the Cape is getting a much bigger population of the Lone Star ticks, which are an interesting one.
What do they do? The Rocky Mountain spotted fever? What do they?
No, so what they do is that they induce an allergy to certain mammalian proteins. So whenever you eat red meat, you can get anaphylaxis or pretty severe allergic reactions.
Wow, I never heard about that.
Yeah.
Okay. It's cool.
It'll make the cake plant-based for everybody.
Yeah.
I'm wondering if we can have, you know, when we do a health event, if we can have some flyers on this, you know, like,
Yeah,
you know,
absolutely. So
spraying and, or pre-treating garments with permethrin or things like that. And I know you were planning to give out,
the tick
some garments,
socks.
I believe it was socks, right?
Yes.
Treated, so.
Yeah, we can absolutely make some kind of one pager to give out regarding tick prevention.
Are you going to have, or would you like one of us to work on this, having a sign or a poster? It's going to have to be heavy because they say it's windy down there. delineating the 6 pillars of healthy lifestyle.
Are you asking me or are you asking?
I'm asking you, did you have that, do you have something like that available, or would you like us to work on doing that?
We're gonna talk about being outdoors and doing physical activity. This will be part of that. And we can certainly give out the.
Well, I was
handout.
thinking of lifestyle medicine, because that's this is what this is revolving around, right? The different tables you're gonna have are each is gonna represent one of the pillars of lifestyle medicine, or, so should we have something,
Big board. Margaret, you know what? If he sends me something, I will make it.
Can you do that?
Yes, I'm very crafty. If you send me
That's
something,
what I-
I'll make it on a board.
That'd be
Like, not a
wonderful.
yeah, I'll make it.
It should be a heavy board.
Yes, I will make something.
And, because saying flyers, mentioning that made me realize that, and maybe each table should have a sign. Because each table is going to be one of the pillars represent one of the pillars of lifestyle.
So should we maybe
Medicine.
put this on the agenda next time to talk about, like, the things we need to do? And then basically, so,
We might need to work on it sooner than that,
Yeah,
because
it's
how many
2
weeks away
weeks.
is it?
it's 2, yeah, you're right. Well, yeah.
So, anyway, that was my thought, that we're gonna have the tables, each group that you've invited to talk, to present, different aspects of lifestyle, medicine, they're gonna have a table, correct? And they're gonna be,
Right. Yes, we have several. I have other doctors coming too, but what I wanna do is not just have like, doctor's name, but we should have the Board of Health, because this will be, like some kind of sign that says Board of Health, because we are doing.
to
this
show that
for-
we're the ones doing it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and, so people look forward to hear from us, not just about septics, but, about health and things that impact them.
Okay. All right.
So do we know how it's all gonna be
We already
set up?
have a pre-existing board for the, posted for the Board of Health.
I don't think we do. I can make one. I can make that.
Well, all
wait.
right, so let's,
Poster board that we can supply.
let's,
I like boards, like,
talk about,
I
we
can
need
make
some
one.
visual aids, basically, for this. So, yeah, I don't know if we could talk, and then, it's awesome, I could help you if you,
Yeah.
I just.
I have paint, I have everything, paint, spray
Okay,
paint.
all right. So maybe we should we talk outside of this
So
meeting?
yeah, you guys talk offline and discuss
Yeah,
that, and if you
yeah.
need any, we have supplies we're looking to donate that we are taking out of our back storage closet,
Wonderful.
so.
Okay.
All right, well, I'll talk to you a little more, Miguel, about that, and then we can.
Yeah, okay.
So what I was gonna tell you, because I checked the site, and the pavilion is very nice. It has tables inside in case it rains and people
Oh,
are
good.
able to.
I mean, nobody's gonna be there. Rains.
I just don't have the logistic to have a timed 5K, like people measuring times and so on. We're not gonna have an end and a start and finish lane, banner. So people will do that on their own, and I'll submit that to the U.S. Corps of Engineer. I presume I don't need insurance for that, because I'm not gonna have like a cart, I'm not gonna have, a health team in case people pass out. I'll just tell them to go for a walk. So maybe we should eliminate the 5K from the name, because otherwise it will require a lot of logistics that I
Okay.
just can't provide.
Just say, go walk down by the canal, it's healthy, right?
Yeah, I'll take a walk.
Okay.
And,
I've been told
Yeah.
that
I had
many
initially
times.
thought about hanging posters that were laminated from the beams inside of the pavilion, but you're right, there's a lot of wind and they're gonna be moving and people are not gonna read them.
So we just need to make them out of something heavy, maybe put them on the tables. Yeah.
Is there like a dossier or something, like a roadmap of like, okay, what do we have to do that morning?
Yes.
Like, yeah.
Right, that'd
So
be
maybe,
good to develop that.
maybe we can
So I
see, so
haven't
we know what we have to
developed
do.
that yet.
All right. What I can do is, if we could talk and develop that, and then we could send it out as an email for those that can help. If it's, I'm going to be doing one of the tables, because, but we've got other people lined up too, because the people from the senior center there was
Okay.
nobody available.
All right. So we'll wait to hear from you and Miguel on that, but obviously it's
Okay.
gonna be fast, because it's
I
coming up
know,
fast.
I know.
Wow, it's already 4 months, the year's almost 4 months over.
know.
Okay, anything else on, comments from board regarding future agenda items? I have a couple that I think it's actually, just talking about, like, some of the regulations and things like that. So maybe I'll talk to you about that.
That's
And
fine,
then
yeah.
we'll pull in the chair for that. And then I think that was it. So,
Got some minutes.
yeah, so basically that's on the next page. Okay, so nothing else? We're good on that? 2 pages. Okay, so the next thing is approve the minutes. So which ones do we have to approve?
March 21st is the one we have available. We do have the rest of them. I just didn't get a chance to take a look at them before, so I didn't want to have you guys read
Okay.
them.
So, and that's fine. We
Yeah.
appreciate her doing them. You know, it's a busy time for everybody with all the holidays, so.
Yes, I watched this.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, no, this was the Zoom one.
Oh, is your name right, Margaret?
That was a long.
Let's
Yeah.
see. Yep, my name is correct.
Okay. And then all the things are attached. Does anybody have any comments, or does somebody want to make a motion to approve the minutes of March 21st, 2025?
I make a motion to approve the minutes of March 21st, 2025.
Second.
Okay, roll call vote. Margaret?
Aye.
Dusty?
Aye.
Miguel?
Aye.
And Barbara, aye. Okay. So the next thing is adjourn.
Oh, yeah.
We have a motion?
Second.
Dusty, somebody has to make it first. Do
Oh.
you want to make the first?
I make a motion to adjourn.
I second it.
All right. Roll call vote.
Aye. Aye, aye.
Margaret, Miguel,
Uh,
and Barbara, aye. Okay, meeting adjourned.